come here very often? Do you
I think I'm a lad of the 60s. You know, I used to campaign against the Vietnamese War, had a magazine to campaign against the Vietnamese War. It seemed a horrible, unnecessary war. So I think I've been brought up, you know, with a conscience. But I really do think that, you know, if you become an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, considerable wealth goes with it. But I work no harder than, you know, a doctor or, you know, a nurse or a journalist, and therefore, you know, with wealth, excessive wealth, goes excessive responsibility. I think also, as an entrepreneur, your career is a long one. I mean, I started when I was 15 years old. So, being an entrepreneur, you've got the kind of stability that politicians don't have. You know, I mean, a politician may be there for 5 years, 10 years, but it's unlikely he'll be in the same portfolio or she for more than 18 months. And so I think you know, business leaders have got that stability where and experience sometimes that politicians don't have, and therefore a combination of their financial resources and their entrepreneurial skills, I think, can go a long way. I also think from a company's point of view, you know, if the company becomes a force for good, the employees who work for that company will work that much harder, they'll be that much prouder. So, you know, I think it's also good business sense for a company to be doing more than just looking after its shareholders. And maybe, you know, some managing directors feel that they have to be separate from their people. You know, but I do believe that you know, the best way of learning about whether a company's working, whether it's not working, is to talk to the people who are actually running your company, and you know, and realizing that a company is just its people. It's nothing more. I mean, it's so the more time I think a chairman or chief executive can spend with their people, talking to their people, the more successful that company will be. The happier, you know, the happier the company is, the happier the people are. You know, the more successful it will be. And so I don't think there should be anything different between a Western company and a Japanese company or a Malaysian company. I think, you know, this approach, I think works throughout the world. And I think it's an enormous mistake for a chairman or chief executive of a company to sit in their ivory tower you know, with BlackBerries and mobile phones. You don't need to be sitting in an office, you know, almost at all. You know, the more you can just get out, you know, visit your businesses, spend time with your people, and almost get rid of your office, I think. So, you know, from what I've heard about what Malaysia's doing, I mean, a lot of your companies were public companies run by the country. I think the more you privatize everything, the better it will be for the country. The more you can break up big companies and turn them into smaller companies competing with each other, the better it will be for the country. Competition works, and you know, I mean, big private companies are sometimes worse than even big national companies. So if you're going to privatize, you know, break them up. I do think that, you know, I mean, Malaysia has a good reputation overseas. I think, you know, some of the issues, I mean, like, you know, what's happening with your ex-politician Anwar, I think that damages Malaysia a lot. I think that you know, I think the more liberal Malaysia can be, the more open it can be, the more people are going to want to invest here. But generally speaking, I think Malaysia's got a lot to teach us in the West. So you know, we look forward to learning a lot more from you. You know, what I'm trying to do now is to use the skills I learned in building businesses to build social projects that are not for profit, but hopefully can make a difference in the world. So, and I think that the business leaders generally can spend some of their time and should spend some of their time once they've become successful in using their entrepreneurial skills to try to tackle some of the seemingly intractable problems of the world.